This is a totally normal dark deck. We have Muck, we have Weezing, and we have Zapdos. Okay, why is Zapdos in this deck? I'm not playing Lightning Energy, so I'm not attacking with it. So what is Zapdos doing here? Well, there's two reasons, and the first reason is just because I think it's silly. But the other reason is because Zapdos actually solves this deck's big problem. The whole strategy for the deck comes from how Muck and Weezing work together. Muck normally attacks for a decent amount of damage, but he does a lot more damage when attacking a poison opponent. And we can set up poison with Weezing's ability, which lets us poison the opponent if Weezing is in the active. Muck and Weezing both have high HP, so they can tank a good hit before we use Koga to pick them up. So our plan is to keep recycling our Weezings to tank and apply poison until our Muck is ready to sweep everything else. Sounds pretty foolproof, right? Well, it would be, except our opponent usually has this card. Now we have to make a decision, sacrifice our weak basics or send up our Muck that isn't ready to attack. We want to get the most value with Muck since the setup takes a long time, but if it gets damaged before it's ready, then we might only get one attack with him at best. And Grimer and Muck have really high retreat costs, so it's not like we can retreat back to our Weezing easy peasy. We could use Koga, but we'd lose the energies we've already attached. There's really no good option, so I decided to just make a new option. And that's where our friend Zapdos comes in. He's got lots of HP, which is perfect for getting hit a lot. Sorry, Zapdos. He also has a really low retreat cost, so he can tank and easily pivot before he gets knocked out. Now, just because Zapdos is in the deck, it doesn't mean we always have to put him into play. If everything goes smoothly, we can win without Zapdos. In fact, Zapdos is even kind of a liability in some matchups. Sometimes he's just there for moral support. But sometimes, Zapdos makes it just a bit easier to set up our game-winning strategy. Anyways, this might not be the best version of the deck, and it's not even the best Dark-type deck. I just think it's funny when our opponent expects Dark-type Pokemon, and then they see this. We're going second against a Lightning deck that has the fancy premium Pikachu sleeves. They're starting with a Blitzel in the active, and if I had to guess, they probably have Pikachu as well. Yep, there is the immersive Pikachu. They have the fancy sleeves, and they have the fancy cards. They're playing the Pokeball to look for some more lightning basics. There's our second Blitzel. So it looks like they're playing the Pikachu Zebstrika build. They pass it over to us, and we can start off by drawing some more cards. We find both of our basics, which is really good for us. We'll be able to evolve next turn because we have Muck and Weezing in our hand already. We'll just attach a Dark Energy to our Grimer. I don't mind leaving the Zapdos in the active, at least, to set up. They bench the Voltorb and attach to their active Blitzel, and it looks like they might just be hitting into our Zapdos, which is exactly why our Zapdos is here. All of the damage is going to be going on the Zapdos, and our main attackers are going to be perfectly healthy. So let's start off by just evolving into Weezing and Muck. Now we can finally leave because we have the X speed, allowing us to retreat for free and send up the Weezing. This is where we can start setting up poison and start setting up our wall strategy. We have 2 energies in our Muck now, and the next turn we'll be able to start attacking with Muck. Now the Blitzel is poisoned, so we'll see how they respond. They evolve their Electrode. They also have the fancy art Electrode too. They're finally starting to attach their Pikachu EX, so next turn would be an issue. Here's the Sabrina. This is why we play the Zapdos. If we didn't have the Zapdos in play, they'd probably start attacking into our Muck. And although it's only 20 damage, we kind of want as little damage on our Muck as possible. So our Zapdos tanks another hit, and we have another X speed, so we can retreat into our Weezing again. And since the Blitzel is at 40 HP, we're going to be able to take a knockout here with just a tackle. I could have taken the knockout with Muck, but I'd rather save the Muck for that Pikachu EX that they're building up next turn. We do take the first point of the game. Yep. They're sending up the Pikachu. It's gonna be able to attack, they're attacking for 60 now. We'll see if they can find a third basic Pokemon, which would let them attack for 90. They're attaching the energy. They're gonna Giovanni, so they're gonna attack for some more damage. They don't have another bench Pokemon, so they can't do 100 damage, but either way, it's kind of over for them because we have Koga in our hand. We'll poison with Weezing's ability first, then we can use Koga to take the Weezing out of the active and back into our hand. And now Muk is ready to do 120 damage, which is the perfect amount of damage to knock out this Pikachu. For the second game, we have a Dark-type Mirror, and you'll see here that they're playing the better Dark-type deck with Weezing and Arbok. We're going first, which is not really ideal. We can Pokeball at least. We find Zapdos, and I choose not to bench Zapdos for now because I don't have an X speed in the hand, and I don't want them to Sabrina my Zapdos this early. I want to be able to attack with Coughing next turn. They're going to attach an energy to their own Coughing, and it looks like they're just going to hit us for 20. They also didn't have any other Pokemon to bench. Now we have an X speed, so I don't mind benching Zapdos here, just to get him into some play. This is the one matchup where benching Zapdos is a little risky, and maybe not such a good idea, but I kinda just want to use him. We use the potion to heal our Coughing, and we'll hit the Coughing back for 20 ourselves. We'll see what else they can do here. They have a giant hand, and that means they have the Weezing evolution. Here comes the Sabrina, so yeah, I don't mind sending the Zapdos up at all, because that's what he's here for. All the damage is going to be away from our Coughing, which is going to make it harder for them to KO it later. They're going to poison the Zapdos and probably tackle for 30. It's pretty fine for us, we don't mind that damage. We do see that they're setting up their Ekans. They are setting up their Ekans with an energy, so there's a chance that they have Arbok coming up, which means we're going to need to get our Zapdos out of the active as soon as possible. I'm thinking about the X speed, but I decided to just attach the energy to the Zapdos. That way we can save our X speeds for when it really matters later. We can retreat into our Weezing, poison them, and tackle. And this one might be a long one because it's going to be a lot of strategy behind how we choose the poison and how we choose to switch out our Pokemon. They're starting to set up another Coughing. They bench that. They poison our own Weezing. Now both of us are poisoned. And the poison is going to tick down our damage turn by turn. Looks like they might not have the Arbok since they're attaching to the Coughing. They're going to pick up their damaged Weezing so it doesn't get knocked out. And they're just going to hit us for 20. We'll get ticked by the poison for another 10. And we still haven't found our Reiner yet, which is a little scary because we're not really able to use these energies as efficiently. We can attach the dark energy to Zapdos as a future measure, but all we can really do for now is tackle. And so the only way they're going to be able to knock us out is if they have an Arbok in their hand. We'll see if they do. Their Coughing in the active was at risk, but because they have the Weezing to evolve, they can heal the poison and have more HP. They attach the energy to their bench Coughing, poison us, well, we were already poisoned, and they're gonna tackle us. Now it's scary because our Weezing is gonna be knocked out pretty soon. We can poison their Weezing at least, and I'm gonna have to Koga this turn so we can recycle our Weezing. I'll rebench the Coughing and attach a dark energy to it. And putting Zapdos here is really scary. I retreat immediately back into the Coughing because I really do not want my Zapdos to be trapped by Arbok. That would be really bad. So we're just going to retreat back into the Coughing and hit them for 20. They're going to need to find Arbok if they want to take a knockout this turn, so we'll see if they find it. They're attaching to their Ekans, which is maybe scary. Maybe they have the Arbok in their hand. They're going to Koga the Weezing. It looks like they wanted to just heal that little bit of damage, presenting us with a fresh weezing with 110 HP. So they recycle that weezing, and they're gonna hit us for 30. Here we can evolve again. That's gonna heal our poison and give us more HP. We're gonna poison them again. There's gonna be a lot of poison and healing and poison in this matchup. We finally find our Grimer off of the Professor's research and another coughing, but now that we have our Grimer, we can start powering that up. We've had our Muck in the hand for quite a while now, but we'll just tackle again and slowly chip away at this weezing's health. They've used both of their Kogas, so they're not going to be able to recycle them anymore. They're attaching a second energy to their weezing, leaving the opportunity to potentially retreat if they have an X speed. But first, of course, they're going to use the ability. They do have the X speed in their hand, so they're going to be able to retreat the weezing. Maybe this means they have Arbok in the hand. They have 2 energies on the Ekans already, but they still haven't found the Arbok, so they're only going to bite for 20, which is pretty fortunate for us. That's going to buy us enough time to power up our Muck, so I can evolve my bench Pokemon into Muck and Weezing. We'll at least first poison the Ekans with the ability, and attach an energy to the Muck, so we'll be able to attack with it next turn. I don't really mind not using Koga on this weezing. I kinda just want to see some more cards. We find our second Grimer, and we'll just tackle them for 30. And we're pretty much guaranteed to get knocked out this turn, but I really didn't want to use Koga because I think it's more important to save the Kogas for a win condition. And I don't mind giving up a prize now because we have our Kogas available for the late game. They're gonna send up their weezing, and they'll easily take the knockout with a tackle here. Now we can send up our second weezing. Yeah, we can poison them to set up our Muck's big attack. Because we saved our Koga, that means we're going to be able to knock their weezing out in one attack from the Muck. That's going to be a pretty big swing for us. Now our Muck is fully powered up, and we've recycled our coughing for another weezing potentially next time. They're sending up their Ekans. We'll see if they have a response. Our Muck is pretty strong now. They finally find their Arbok, so whatever they attack now won't be able to retreat. They're gonna Sabrina, but I don't mind setting up the coughing because I have the weezing in my hand. When I evolve the coughing into weezing, then I'll be able to retreat. We're gonna first use weezing's abilities to set up the poison, and because we saved both of our X speeds for the final moment, we'll be able to retreat into our Muck and finish the combo. Our Muck would have done enough damage anyways, but the key here I think was setting up something that was going to evolve next turn to get rid of the retreat condition. First we'll use a potion to get out of the range of an Arbok attack, but at this point it's looking pretty rough for their side. We're 1 point away from winning. We have a fully powered up Muck that can knock out all of their Pokemon if they don't have the evolutions. And I think they realize that they're kind of in a bad spot at this point, so they just concede. That's the Muck Weezing deck with the special guest Zapdos. We don't always use Zapdos, but we're happy to have him around. Maybe you could try putting Zapdos in your own decks, and let me know how it goes if you do. Hope you guys have a great day, and thank you for watching.